Okay, let's continue. Fox, stopping, pointing. Look, everyone, there is a mountain where there was only a stone before. All slowly raise their heads as they scan the mountain from base to summit. As they do, Hawk enters as before, flapping his wings. Mother Grizzly, I see Hawk, cups paws around her mouth and shouts up to Hawk. Hawk, have you seen my lost cubs? Hawk calling down. They are asleep on this strange new mountain. Mother Grizzly calling up. Please fly to my children, wake them, and help them find their way down. Hawk pantomimes flying towards cubs and being blown back by mountain winds. After several tries, he speaks to those below. Hawk calling down. The wind will not let me reach your little ones. Someone will have to climb up and rescue them. Storyteller enters stage left. One by one, the animals tried to reach the cubs. Animals pantomime their attempts as Storyteller speaks. Mother Grizzly tried several times but always tumbled back. Mouse jumped from stone to stone but quickly got scared and jumped back down. Badger climbed a bit higher. Mother Deer, a little bit higher. Fox did even better, but none succeeded. Even Mountain Lion failed. When Mother Grizzly sees this, she begins to weep. The other creatures gather around to console her. Unnoticed by them, Measuring Worm enters. Mother Grizzly, sadly, Mountain Lion, you are the best climber and were my best hope. There is no one now who can save my cubs. Measuring Worm, I will try. The other animals turn and stare at him, and then all except Mother Grizzly begin to laugh. Mountain Lion, foolish Measuring Worm, do you think you can do what the rest of us have failed to do? Mouse, meanly, Tutakana, your name is longer than you are. Storyteller appearing stage left. My people call Measuring Worm Tutakana, which means little curl stretch. He moves by stretching, two, then curling, talk, the way a caterpillar moves. Mother Grizzly drying her eyes, I welcome your help. Measuring Worm begins to climb, all the while crying, to talk. The other animals sit, staring at the mountain, watching as the worm stretches and curls in a climbing motion. Measuring Worm loudly, to talk, to talk. Okay, now we're on scene 3. Storyteller, in time, Measuring Worm climbed even higher than Mountain Lion. He climbed so high that the animals below could no longer see or hear him. Sometimes he would grow afraid and stop when he saw how high he had climbed and how much higher he had to go. Then he thought about poor Mother Grizzly, so worried at the bottom of the mountain. He thought about the cubs in danger at the top. Then he found his courage again and continued to climb, all the while crying, to talk, to talk, to talk. Storyteller exits as Measuring Worm finally crawls onto the rock. He bends over the 2 sleeping cubs and calls, Wake up! The cubs are drowsy as they wake and stretch and yawn. Older brother crawls and looks over the side of the rock. Younger brother, something terrible has happened. Look how high we are. Younger brother, also on his knees, peers down. We are trapped here. We will never get back to our mother. The cubs begin to cry. They have forgotten Measuring Worm. Measuring Worm, comforting the cubs. Do not be afraid. I have come to guide you safely down the mountain. Just follow me and do as I say. We will follow the safe path that brought me here. Older brother, I am afraid I will fall. Younger brother, I am scared too. Measuring Worm, gently. Surely Mother Grizzly's children are not so afraid, for she is the bravest creature in the valley. Older brother puffing out his chest and beating it with his paw. We are grizzlies. We are brave. Younger brother doing the same. We will follow you. They pantomime following a safe path in single file, with Measuring Worm leading, older brother following, and younger brother behind. Below, Fox suddenly spots something, stands up, and peers more closely. Fox excitedly pointing to a spot about halfway up the mountain. Mother Grizzly, look! Measuring Worm is guiding your cubs down the mountain. All animals look where Fox is pointing. Mother Grizzly, joyful and fearful. Be careful, my children. Mother Deer reassuring her friend. Trust Measuring Worm. He has brought them safely this far. He will not fail you now. The animals continue to watch. They slowly lower their gaze to follow the climbers as they come down the mountain. At last, the cubs and Measuring Worm make a final leap from the mountain to the ground. The cubs run to their mother. Mother Grizzly gives them a big hug. Then she pushes them away and shakes her finger at them. Mother Grizzly, scolding. Both of you have been very naughty. Look at the trouble and worry you have caused us all. You did not listen to me and went where you were not supposed to go. Older brother hanging his head. I'm sorry, I won't do it again. Younger brother starting to cry. I will never disobey you again. Mother Grizzly gathering them up in her arms. Be sure that you remember what happened today, but do not cry, little ones. It has all ended well thanks to the help and courage of Measuring Worm. The animals gather around Measuring Worm and congratulate him. Storyteller enters stage left. Then all the animals decided to call the new mountain Tutankanula, which means Measuring Worm Stone. This was to honor the heroic worm who did what no other creature could do. He saved the 2 bear cubs. The mountain held this name for many years until newcomers named the mountain El Capitan. We Miwoks still call the mountain Tutankanula to this day. The end. So remember at the beginning we talked about how this story teaches a lesson. There's actually a couple of lessons. One of them is that you should listen to your parents. Mother Grizzly knew that it wasn't safe and she told her children, don't go there. And did they listen? No. And then what happened? They got into a real predicament and they were not safe. So it's important to always listen to the grown-ups. And then it also tells us that size doesn't matter. Some big animals, a grizzly bear, a mountain lion, a deer, they all tried to go and save the cubs and they couldn't. And then when Measuring Worm said, I will do it, they laughed at him because he was so small. But it turns out that he was small, but he was mighty. He was very heroic, and he was the only one who could save the day. So don't let your small size stop you from doing big things.